Here to introduce Kim are her daughters, Carrie and Kristen. Carrie Knopf Higgison resides in Lexington and is the digital director and has been working for the company since graduating from the University of Kentucky in 2009. Kristen, since graduating from Rhodes in Tennessee, has been working in Washington, D.C. for Excella as a senior consultant. Please welcome the daughters, Carrie and Kristen.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you to you all for coming out tonight on such a wonderful event. On behalf of the Knopf family, we feel truly blessed to have each of you here in attendance with us. I am Kristen. I am the youngest of Kim's two daughters. I don't get to work with her on a daily basis. And as children, my sister and I were often told by our parents just how proud they were of us. So today, I feel truly honored to be able to reciprocate that message and tell my mom and you guys as an audience just how proud I am of her, who she's become, and all of her amazing accomplishments. When I started to think about this introduction, I asked myself, what does it actually mean to be an entrepreneur, and what do I actually want to speak about tonight? And I realized being an entrepreneur, it's not just about going off and starting your own business. It's about having a dream and doing whatever it takes to accomplish your dream, and having the internal drive and the passion to tackle any challenge that comes in your way as you are working to realize your dream. At 23, my mom started her business, and I'm sure you'll hear a bit more about that huge accomplishment when she accepts her award tonight. But I wanted to share a little bit about her that you guys might not know, and that is that she has been a dreamer really her whole life. And her entrepreneurial spirit started much earlier than the start of her business at an extremely young age. The oldest of 5 children growing up in a middle-class home right here in Louisville, Kentucky, my mom would do anything she could to make a quick buck. Whether she was selling potato chips door to door, cutting lawns, or selling her toys to the neighborhood kids. She always says that the very best decision that her parents ever made was all of the sacrifices that they made to send her to Sacred Heart Academy, which she helped pay for with all that potato chip cash. Even then, Sacred Heart was not cheap. If she was tenacious, self-reliant, and a stubborn child even before then, Sacred Heart and her time on the basketball court was where her incredibly tough, competitive spirit was born. And she learned some very tough lessons about leadership through her various roles on the student council. Today, she remains lifelong friends with a group of wonderful women, many of which are sitting with her here tonight, still on her team, supporting her. So now you've heard just a little bit about my mom's early life and the people that helped her get her start. So I just want to tell her today how proud I am. There she is. How proud I am to be here to help celebrate her and to thank her for all the things that she has done to help me get my start.
Hello, everyone. I'm Carrie, Director of Digital Marketing for Sleep Outfitters IMS, the daughter that works with Mom morning, noon, and night. I'd like to say that Kristen and I have grown up in the business, but the truth is we've grown up through the business. For as long as I can remember, Mom has integrated us into her career in a way that many kids in my generation will never experience. Our first trip to Disneyland was piggybacking off of an IT conference. Our first trip to Europe was with 50 other business people and their spouses on an advertising incentive trip. My first black tie occasion was not for a wedding in my 20s, but rather as a child in tow during the Republican National Convention before I ever hit double digits. We were exposed to a lot. This exposure wasn't always met with excitement, however, and at times, Kristen and I didn't understand why we weren't like other families. Many of our friends' moms stayed home and eagerly awaited them at 3 o'clock in the school pickup line. Kristen and I, however, knew that when work was running late, we may just be picked up in an IMS delivery truck. At the time, we didn't realize the immense investment and sacrifice that Mom was not only making to ensure her success and to provide for us in a way that her parents couldn't, but also to afford hundreds of other families the opportunity to better their circumstances and be a part of something truly special. Now, as a working mom myself, I have the perspective to understand how difficult yet empowering seeking this balance can be. I'm so grateful for Mom, many of her friends here today, and the community of women who supported her then and now. They have paved the way for my generation to truly have it all at much less cost and achieve this delicate balance far more easily than they ever could. Today, Kim continues to balance her work and family life, and it's been a joy to watch her transition effortlessly from the boardroom to the playground, and oftentimes making the boardroom the playground with my 16-month-old son, Holden. Kim's dedication to excellence shows through and through in her commitment to her family, her company, her community, and the great state of Kentucky, which continues to inspire dreamers of all ages. It's truly an honor and a privilege to introduce our mom, mentor, and best friend, Kim Knopf.
Wow, I'm not sure I did many good things to deserve such a warm welcome from my kids, but I'm very, very proud of them. I often say that when I started the company and things were pretty crazy, that when the kids came along, as hectic as it was, they really saved my life. They gave me the much-needed perspective and balance. Nonetheless, there they are. Your dad and I are really very proud of the women that you guys have become, and how smart you guys are. As I start my comments for this evening, and I begin to thank all of you for being here, there's one person that wasn't able to be here that I owe everything to, and that's my mom. And I know she's watching us, and I know she's proud, but I do have the opportunity to have my aunt, who's here, and that's my mom's sister. So thank you for being here. Aside from family, I want to thank my friends and business colleagues for being here to share in this special honor. A special thanks to Secretary Gill from the Cabinet of Economic Development, Lieutenant Governor Hampton, David Atkinson, CEO and President of the Kentucky Chamber, and finally, Brian Ramey, the founder of the Kentucky Entrepreneurial Hall of Fame. It's been said many times tonight, and it's something I truly believe in, and that is building entrepreneurship, working towards economic development and prosperity in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. In our industry, there's been a lot of consolidation, as there has been in many different industries. So it gives me a lot of pride to have a company that's been in existence for 34 years, still privately held, and very much family-oriented. Without the support from the SBA and SBDC 34 years ago, my dream of being an entrepreneur and starting a company would have evaporated. I'm now humbled to join the ranks of these great inductees, several of whom have had a profound impact on my life. For example, take Jim Host, inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2010. I partially credit him for me being here today after not receiving a call back after an interview in 1983. All teasing aside, that's really a true story. It was after that meeting with Jim, though, that I recognized that I would have to start a company because I was never going to have an interview again. And a lot of times when I speak at UK, I talk specifically about how to do a perfect interview. So I certainly have learned that lesson. I've also sat with Bill Gatton and John Williams, and I spoke to John on the way in this evening as well, and both of those men I truly admire, and it's been such an honor to get to know them over the years. And John, I just want to thank you for the 3 sets of bedding that you've purchased here lately. Lee Todd, early on, was instrumental in our company moving here. It may have taken 10 years, but Lee, we're here, and we've been here for the last couple of years. So thank you for your tireless efforts on that. But then there's Bobby Trussell, who was inducted last year into the Hall of Fame. We were one of the first retailers to pick up Tempur-Pedic, which at the time consisted, if you will believe this, of just one mattress. But that one mattress, 25 years ago, really transformed our industry and our retail business. Now, 25 years later, TSI is our largest strategic partner. So, Bobby, I know you're not here, but many thanks to you for your vision and your innovation. And thanks to the TSI team sitting here tonight. I'm grateful for the partnership, but more importantly, the friendships that we've built over the last several decades. Almost to the start, 34 years ago, I opened our first Mattress Warehouse store in South Charleston, West Virginia, with money Ken's father and stepmother invested in the business. I remember the first day very well. I was excited for opening day. I ran an ad in the newspaper that was so small they couldn't typeset it. I think they had to use a calligraphy pen. That just tells you how long ago that was. So it was about a 1-inch by 3-inch column ad. And guess what happened? I was shocked. People actually came through the store doors. And I remember the first sale. I remember the customer's first name. I remember the exact price. I remember the exact color of the tick. That was 34 years ago. I worked seven days a week for the first year that we were open. Ken's dad, Bob, who was working at Union Carbide at that time, would come down during his lunch hour, and he would work with me, and they would both work with me on the weekends. I unloaded the trucks. I was in a lot better shape then. Strapped mattresses onto cars, including my own. I waited on customers and did home visits when there were issues. It was the life of someone determined not to fail. I learned early in my career that when you're growing a business and navigating new waters without a playbook, it's important to develop a network of people that are more experienced and really invested in your success. When David Dye, president of CERTA, recommended me to the Mountain State YPO chapter, I knew it was an opportunity to grow my skills as a business leader. My 15-year membership in that organization was life-changing, and it's there that I developed lifelong friendships with Diane Strong and Phyllis Arnold, both of whom are with us tonight. While I was determined to succeed, I had to realize that being an entrepreneur means you have to be comfortable with failing, something that was very difficult to accept. It's through your failure that you learn more than you ever will through your successes. And I've certainly had my fair share. In 2000, the company was involved in a nasty litigation over a contract dispute, and I was rebounding from the death of my brother, who had played an instrumental role in the company. I had made decisions that put the company at risk, not to mention the blow to my confidence and self-esteem. But through it all, I learned a lot of lessons, the most important being that when things go bad, look for the opportunity, because there usually is one. The end to that story, the team was resilient, and we rallied around the creation of Sleep Outfitters, which ultimately allowed us the freedom to expand beyond the borders of West Virginia and has played a huge part in why I'm here in Kentucky today. Helping people sleep and live better has been my life's work these past 34 years. When I set out to start our company, I never intended to be the biggest, but rather to be the best, and that is what I've tried to do. I hope my accomplishments in life will not be measured by revenue, number of stores, or number of employees, but by the riches of friendship, family, customers we've helped, and by staying true to my values and my word. I will never forget that when I started out, that's the only thing I had. When asked what is next, my response of late has been, we are a startup. We need to think young, and we need to act with speed. and to the leadership team that's sitting here tonight. I hope you all remember the comments that we had yesterday. Because retail is changing quickly, but we are confident that our management team and partners will discover the opportunity that will allow our company to catapult to the next evolutionary phase of our growth. In closing, a very special thanks to my friends, family, and business colleagues who have helped me reach this achievement. This honor is special to me, but everyone knows that it's the front line, our sales and delivery team, and the administrative staff that make it all happen. Last, special thanks to the man who believed in me first and was a person who made this dream of mine a reality. My husband, Ken, often in the shadows, convinced his parents to invest in Mattress Warehouse those many years ago, and as they say, the rest is history. So that's my story. Thank you very much.